Welcome, and thank you for joining for another whiskey review. Today, we're taking a look at the Hardin's Creek 17-year-old. Actually, 240 months old. Is that
Four, I think.
204 months old, to be exact.
That's a complicated math equation to do there. This is the Frankfort edition, Mike.
55% ABV, if I'm reading that right. Can't see anything small anymore. Dustin, What is this? Jim Beam?
So Jim Beam did a series this year of Hardin's Creek. So actually, they started last year. They did a 2-year-old and a 15-year-old. This year, they released 3 editions, all 17 years old, but all from different rickhouses. This is the whiskey from the Frankfort rickhouse. So they're kind of showing off the effect of different rickhouses on the flavor of bourbon at super ages.
Did I ever tell you the first time I had a whiskey, it was Jim Beam, Dustin?
Was it white label?
Yeah, me and my buddy. Summer going into high school. We thought, go to McDonald's, get a couple Cokes.
There you go.
Empty them out. Half did Jim Beam. What could go wrong?
Half and half.
Yep. Couldn't smell Jim Beam for 20 years. Hardin's Creek, 17-year-old, ultra-aged bourbon here, Dustin.
Yeah.
Let's get to it, my friend.
Jim Beam has
55%, big punchy.
Ranking out the old whiskey lately, and this is...
Smells inviting.
smells amazing. I mean, it's just beautiful, upfront, rich,
Caramel.
antique caramel, vanilla with varnish, but then you get the classic bean peanut comes in.
Look at that Jim Beam peanut.
Dusty peanut.
Thought the Coke hangover from when I was 14.
No. If you were drinking this at 14, man, you kids were doing well.
We were not. Yeah, very, very rich, sweet. I mean, whenever I hear 17-year-old bourbon, I'm like, is it over oaked?
This is inviting as hell.
Exactly.
I've had this open for a couple months now, Mike. It's had a little bit of time.
Open up.
Yeah, because I know when I first got it, it was a little on the...
Punchy.
not punchy, but it was a little closed and a little drying. So we'll see if it's improved since then.
This is usually a third of the way down the bottle is a good time to bring the bottle. We do a lot of empty bottles and neck pours, but...
I don't even know how to... Yeah, it's probably about...
That's all you do. That's how you always do it. Whenever I look at bottles, like a drunk, I look at it from the side. How much have you drunk down?
Yeah, Keith and I got into this last time I was up here with you.
Mm-hmm. I know he was impressed too. Yeah, very 55%, 17 years. You figure to be more aromatic, punchier, on the first nose, but it's very inviting. Mm-hmm. Lovely, rich caramel flavors, caramels and vanillas, candied, sugared, old. What do you put on the palate, my friend? Something similar?
Yeah, I mean this is classic old dusty oak bourbon, rich caramels, vanillas, like almost a oaky, smoky chocolate note. A little bit of nuttiness, but not much. Much more on the ultra-aged, leathered vanilla. A lot of varnish, good bit of tobacco. It is drying, but it's not over the top. It's definitely opened up where it's not as drying as it was initially.
That has a great candied finish. Mm-hmm. That finish it kicks up. That sweetness just boom, caramel.
Yeah, this is really sweet. I mean, if you like ultra-aged bourbons that get really nice and sweet, they're nailing it. Oh, Mike's pouring extra.
All right, maybe I sold this one short. I do remember having it last time, but since our last pour of the night, I want to indulge myself a little more. Like this for you.
What the heck? Why not?
This is dessert, my friend.
Mike made the comment when Keith and I started drinking this last time. He goes, Dustin, did you sandbag and leave the best whiskey for last when we get to it? And I was like, it was a pretty good one.
Dustin and I have very different philosophies on how to stack our drinking night. I like to start off with something great.
You never want to start off with bourbon, though, so that's why I always put them in the back.
That's true, too. Candies for after dessert.
And to be honest with you, this is so sweet. I
I
actually fully agree with you on that this needs to be later, because this is super sweet.
Candies for dessert. You start out with the meats, and then you work into the sweets.
Get your Springbank first, and then you go into your bourbon.
Buddy, and this is sweet. That really finish is so sweet.
The nose is super sweet, too. I mean, I love that. I mean, if you guys have had some of the ultra-aged bourbons, whether it be like a 20-year Rhetoric, not the 25, but the 20, if you've had like the King of Kentucky, if you've had a good George T. Stagg or WLW, Michter's 20, I mean, any of those like really good ones, what makes them so great is that intense, leathery, ultra-aged vanilla note up front, and this has it in spades.
Yeah, all that. Aged vanilla, sweet, over-the-top sweet caramel sweetness.
Yeah.
I mean, the way this smells inviting and the way it treats your palate, Just like, man, you better, if you're going to step in this ring, we're going to assume you've been here a time or two.
I got to tell you, man, this thing has opened up beautifully. I mean, I was a little bit lower on this whiskey when I first cracked it. I really enjoyed it, but I was like, And I know, like, our buddy Jason, Mash and Drum, he did a review of his neck pour. Mm-hmm. He needs to go back and re-review it because, man, do these things open up.
I do remember him not being falling over himself, but this is not the experience that I remember watching his video of that.
No, because he was very hung up on how drying it was. And this is drying, but...
That's Jim Beam for you to some degree.
And he was comparing it to, I think, the first release.
Well.
And also, heads up, guys, my understanding is they're going to do a 3-pack of all 3 of these in, like, a smaller bottle. These have been not impossible to get, but challenging. I'm hoping the 3-pack maybe is a little easier to get.
Yep.
So we will bring you a versus of all 3 if we can find that.
For sure. This is a fun whiskey.
Yeah. Beautiful. Just beautiful.
Jim Beam, Jack Daniels. There was a time in my life, I'm talking decades ago, where I would never say I'd never touched a Jim Beam or Jack Daniels in my life. But with offerings like this and the Jack Daniels single barrel gold label series,
oh yeah,
I mean, they really put themselves, just like with everyone else, we can make good whiskey.
Yeah.
It just needs time.
Look at Wild Turkey's done as well. I mean, they were another brand that...
Yeah, 101.
101. I mean, you're like, yeah, it's pretty good for cheap whiskey. You never thought, there's going to be $400 Jim or turkeys that people are going to be lining up for.
No, you figured this will get us drunk at 101.
Yeah, and now they are.
Yeah, now they are. Turns out you couldn't make good whiskey.
Yeah. All right, let's put some water on this thing. Give it a shot.
Yeah. Gloating. I didn't expect it to be this good. Didn't expect it to be this good, Dustin. Caught me slipping. We've tried it a couple times. I was not prepared. That's why it's always fun to just isolate one whiskey instead of having a whiskey group.
Yeah, I mean, especially like after we do reviews, we get 6, 7 different little whiskeys and kind of go back and forth, and we to appreciate the flavors, but it's hard to.
So much comparison.
It's more comparison and less like focus on how good is this whiskey by itself.
Right.
So
we do it for you guys, though. It's not that we want to be drinking all these great whiskeys. We need to sit down and properly articulate it for you guys, so you guys make better buying decisions.
Yeah,
we reward the right people.
That we do.
The last part of that was truth.
If you're following us, you're going to find out about some darn good whiskeys that others aren't going to get to. This one, maybe not. A lot of people are going to review this, but
we are.
You know, the thing is, we
like
drink
whiskey.
a lot more scotch than some of the other, a lot of the bourbon guys get to this one. This is great whiskey. This is not just great bourbon.
Agreed. No, I'm a Scotch guy. Dustin's more of a bourbon guy than I am. Dustin, you have consistently, brought these great bourbons up. There are some I love. There are some I'm lukewarm about. There are some I don't like. It's just like anything else. This is one of the better bourbons. And from a hardcore Scotch guy, as I am, I'm saying this is a really good bourbon. Like, the King Kentucky is like, first Chateau Labatt.
Oh, God.
It's a good whiskey. Not quite those whiskeys, but this is a really good whiskey. What's this retail for?
$175, $210.
It's worth it.
I think I paid about $200 for this, and
worth it.
It was like 500 points, so I had no problem with it.
It's absolutely worth it. Huge ABV. If you like not even aggressive bourbons, if you like bourbons that give you flavor, but at the same time easy on the nose and complex, which is not an easy thing to do.
No, this is not over the top. I gotta say, water, Mike, didn't help. Didn't kill it. Just sort of. If you like water on your whiskey, this will take it.
Like I always say,
you don't need it.
Don't water down anything sweet. It's a
See that?
milkshake. You don't need water.
I can see that.
The peanut note became more predominant too on the palate.
Yeah, the spice notes went a little higher. Mouthfeel got a little thinner. I mean, the stuff you expect to happen with a little bit of water.
This thing has been better every time we drink it. Obviously, more oxidation happens. It's better every time I have this.
Yeah.
And this isn't any water.
No, this is, honest to God, it was bottled with the perfect proof. Like, I mean, maybe you could add like the smallest dropper, maybe.
No, they got this
I
right.
doubt it. They nailed it.
Yeah, they get paid for a reason. Whiskey score. Let me go first. I like to do the bourbons first.
Yeah.
I like to go first anyway.
You do.
I'm taller.
Sure.
I still did it when Keith was here. I'm just kidding.
And because Keith looks down at you. Little man.
No, he's taller. It's a big bourbon score for me.
Okay.
I'm an 89 out of 100. I was going to go 88, but my enjoyment's 89 all day. This is a good whiskey. This is good whiskey.
Yeah, I've actually been going back and forth between 90 and 89.
I'm with you.
I do think that the dusty peanut dryness on the finish probably is a little bit off-putting.
With water.
It's even before it was slightly off-putting. And so that's where I'm going to stick with the 89. To get to a 90 on a bourbon, you almost have to be flawless. Like you have to have a hook, which this has, and be flawless.
Yeah.
I think this is teetering there, but it's a little too dry. So 89, epic bourbon.
Put a smile on my face.
Oh, this is what bourbon's supposed to be. I wish there were more offerings like this.
Agreed. Anyway, those are our thoughts on this particular whiskey. If you guys had a chance to try this one, let us know what you guys think. Dustin, until next time, what do we wish, folks?
Happy Frankfort drinking.
We'll see you then.